So let's get started with showing you how to use Matrix to add listings. Please, if you could, save your questions till the end. I mean, you can go ahead and post them now. I probably won't be able to answer them while I go through this here just because of so many people being online. If a lot of people just kept typing in questions there, it's going to really slow me down from doing my my spiel, my training here. So feel free to type in your questions there, but I may not get to it until the end of this section here. And if it's a quick question and I happen to see it, I might address it as I'm going through this. But with that, that would really help us there. Okay, this is adding and modifying listings. So we're going to start off with just adding a brand new listing and going through it and showing you just how easy it really is. And then after a listing is added, how you go back in and modify to add pictures, to change a price, to schedule open houses, do your attachments, things like that. So we'll do it that way second after I do the new listings here. So with that said, let me get out of this and log into Matrix here. I am actually logged in as a broker, okay, as a broker level, but everything should look very, very similar to no matter what access level you've got to add a listing. So kind of keep that in mind. I will point out the differences when I get to it there. So to add a new listing, it's under the input tab up here at the top. You just click on inputs, and then you'll notice there's an add new button right here. Okay, and like I said, we'll come back to this modify section later after we do the new listing. So if we click on add new, the next question pops up and says select your property type, your form. Is it residential, rental, or farm, or what have you? I'm just going to stick with residential, but everything, just because I use residential, all the other property types will be very similar to it. It'll probably have different fields, different categories, but still the same logic behind this. So I'm just going to click on residential. Next, you'll see these three tabs here at the top. The first one is fill from a realist tax. If the property is in one of these counties here, we encourage you to use the fill from a realist tax. That way, it's being populated off the tax records and put it into the system here. Now you'll see that even though it auto-populates from the tax records, you'll still be able to go in and change some of the fields. Okay, there's a couple of them you won't be able to change, like square footage. That is like it was in the old system, that if it populated from the tax records from the auditor's office, you would have to have it changed by the MLS. The MLS would have to go in and change it. But some other fields in here that do get populated from the tax card, most of other fields, you will be able to change those, just not the square footage section there. So if, once again, if it's in one of these counties here, we strongly encourage you to auto fill it from there. And I'll do that here in a second. If it's not in these counties, you can start with a blank listing form. And what that does, it just opens it up and there's nothing auto-populated, and you just go in and start filling it in. And then the last one here is a copy from cross property. Copy from cross property gives you the ability to copy one of your older listings. So if you had one before and it expired and you want to relist it again, or let's say it's a multi-family unit or a condo unit and you've got multiple ones of those, once you add the first one, you can make a copy of it and start the second or third listing without starting from scratch. But I believe, just like in the old system, it has to be your listing that you can copy over. I don't think you can copy over anyone else's listings out there. Okay, so that's the copy. And when you click on copy from cross property, it just opens up and allows you to type in that MLS number, or if you're not sure, you can search for it down here. And then once you find it, just hit that fill, and it'll add those fields and get you started into your listing. And you might just have to go in and put in a new listing date, new expiration date, and things like that, but it'll copy it over from there. But let's just use the one we encourage everyone to do, is the fill from a realist tax. I'm just going to pick Montgomery County, And I'm just going to use the Dayton Area Board of Realtors address, 1515 Main Street. Okay. Now you notice up in here in the top, I'm not typing in North Main or South Main. I'm just doing Main Street. Okay. That's how it's asking for you to type it in up here. And you should know the address, but you can always do the owner's name too. But you know, if you're adding a property, I would hope you would know the address of the property here. Then hit search. Now in this case, I actually got two 1515 mains. One's North Main, one's South Main. So I'm just going to pick the correct one, which is the South Main, and I'm going to hit this button over here called Fill. When I hit that, it's going to take as much information for me and populate it into the Listing Manager section here. As you can see that this screen is different from how it was in Rapatoni. Here you'll notice that everything is driven by these tabs. So I'm going to start with this tab. I'm going to go to the next tab, General tab here. And you'll notice that the address and the school name and parcel ID and all this stuff is already added for me in here. Okay, so it populated that there. And you also notice that the fields that are in yellow are required fields. You need to add, you cannot submit this listing unless you have the required fields filled in here. Okay, so the yellow ones or gold ones are required. So let's start back here on the listing tab. Here it says, okay, what is your listing agent ID? You just type in your listing ID number. If you don't know it, or if you work in an office and the office admin doesn't know it, they can always do this find an agent right here. This find an agent just pops up and allows you to search by their first or last name or your office. And if you search by the office, it would pull up everyone in that office, and you can find it there. So you can find your clients or your agents that way. But since I know mine, I'll just type mine in here, and then I'll hit the refresh button right next to it. And as you can see, it just filled that in for me. If I had a co-listing agent, I would just type that information in here. And then there's the subtype. So it's residential, but is it a single family, attached home, condo, investment? I'll just say single family. And then transaction type. Sale, lease, auction, I'll say sale here. Now, if it was a condo, I would use the rest of these fields here for the sublease, available dates, and all this extra stuff down here. But since it's a single family, I don't need to worry about these extra fields because these pertain to the lease or the condos here. And then here's my condo type and my included in fee. Obviously, those are condo related fields too. So I don't need to fill that in because it's not a condo and it's not required either. Okay. You'll see down here at the bottom, I'll show you these later. Okay. But these will hover down here at the bottom along the way. So I'll just continue on to the general tab up here. General tab, you know, I'll just go in and pick what area it's in, if it's in a subdivision. There is a question mark next to some of these. You can click on it, and some of them are pretty obvious what they are. Okay, so if you have any questions, this is a way that DABR can go in and explain it to you here. But a lot of these fields, like these publish to val and show address on val and show AVM on val, they default to yes. That's how it was in Rapatoni. They defaulted to yes there too. Okay, so they just default to yes, and not really exactly sure. I know val stands for Virtual Office Website, which is like a public display out there. But if you do have further questions on these fields, you might want to talk with your MLS and ask them. But it just defaults to yes, just like it did in Rapatoni there. Here, I'm just going to finish this out and just type in Montgomery, school district. I'll just assume it's in Dayton, and municipality, I'll assume it's in Dayton too here, okay. You might be wondering why these fields didn't populate in here. If it was just like a text field where we would type it in, we could populate that, but it didn't populate these fields because this is a table list. And when you do a tax auto pop, it's not able to, Matrix is not able to pick those. So obviously I did Montgomery County, but the school district and the municipality didn't populate either out there. But it should be hopefully not a big deal. Just pick the one it belongs to there. And then of course, what listing type you might want to choose if you need to, and then your price. You can type in your price. Okay. Agreement type, and so forth here. Now, I want to show you the map. Okay. And I've got this thing on my sidebar here. I need to scroll down a little bit. On my map, you'll notice since it already has the address, street number, street name, and zip code, it automatically mapped the listing for me here. And if it didn't, if it said no map found and you do have an address, street number, street name, you would just hit this get lat long from address and it would map it for you. Next to this is set lat long manually, okay? I recommend using this even though the system automatically mapped it. This is a way you can check it and verify if it's mapped correctly. So just click on that and it opens it up. And now you'll be able to go in and say, yes, it's actually right here. You'd actually be able to move the map to whatever location you need to. And you can see the parcels right here. So there's a little plus zoom in so I can come in, and if I'm not sure, maybe it's this house. If I click on that property, it actually gives me the address and the owner's name. So that would allow me to double check it to make sure it's the right property here. So coming back to this property here, if I just click on it, you'll see that the owner is the Dayton Area Board of Realtors there. Okay. And if I did move this over and I lost my pin my pin indicator, I can hit this place new pin, and then I can come right here and just click on top of it where it needs to go. Okay. But like I said, I'm just going to go back to my starting point and say place new pin and put it right on top. And then I'm going to hit this done button there, and it's mapped, and it's correct. So please, I think that's huge, you guys, to make sure your listings are mapped correctly. That's a huge thing. And I know a lot of office people don't know when they add office admins, when they add listings for their agents, they may not know where the house is at. Well, please encourage your agents after it's in there to have them verify that it's in there mapped correctly. And if they don't right now, they will or should have ability to at least go in and map the property. Okay, so if there's an agent, if there's agents in your office and they don't have the ability to add listings, they should at least be able to go in and map them correctly. Okay, so I'll need to verify also, but they should be able to at least map it because the office admin or broker doesn't know where it's mapped at, so they would need the agent to do it for them. Okay. And then once it's mapped, a new feature in Matrix that Rapatoni didn't have is the Google Street View. Okay. So first you map it correctly, and based on where it's mapped, we'll show you what Google Street View shows it. And if it's wrong, you can change it. So I'm just going to click on this here. And this is what Google Street View thinks this address looks like from the Street View, which is pretty correct. So I can come up here. I can actually move down the street a little bit if I need to, if it's wrong, or drive back down. And sometimes it might even be behind me. The property might be over here somehow. So what I would do is just come in and get this looking exactly the way you like it. And you can even zoom in on this if the house sits back a little farther from the streets. So anyways, you're just going to get it just right, and then you're going to come right here where it says OK, and then your Google Street View is correct. And that helps other agents and the public when it's out there on the public portals, the client portals. The public will see those there. So you want to make sure it's not only mapped right, but you want to make sure the Google Street View looks good, okay, and looking at the correct house. That would be a wonderful thing there. Okay, got all this part here done. I would just go to the property tab next. And here, since I used the Dayton Area Board of Realtors, they didn't populate the bedrooms and bathrooms here, okay? But you can see your bill. And if your bill is wrong, I can go in there and change it to whatever year that I know to be correct, okay? Listing date, I would just open up the calendar and pick the listing dates. I would come in and do the same for the expiration dates. We'll say it expires tomorrow. And so forth here. I can go to miscellaneous and obviously fill out the required fields. But please don't just stop at just the required fields. Put in as much information as you can in here. Okay, this is so important that you fill those out correctly as much as possible. Remarks, come to remarks. You can just type in your description. You'll notice there's spelling check on all these here. You can type that in. Here's your directions, which are required. Okay. Rooms is done a little differently here. So let me open this up here. And you'll notice here we have rooms. And then down here we have how many baths are on level 1, how many baths are on level 2, how many is on number 3, and so forth there. And then total rooms. This up here, you would open up and pick your rooms. I would probably work your way through the house, maybe start at the entry room and type in your length and width and levels style here, okay? Then maybe go to, maybe the living room next. And then you'd hit more and type in, the kitchen possibly and go in through here. Now you'll notice that bedroom 1 is actually master bedroom, okay? That's your master bedroom. And here's your other bedrooms here. So you can just go in and say master bedroom, level 1 on the first floor, length and width. Now, length and width and level are required fields. I know you don't see them here as a required field, but down here at the bottom, if I go down and hit validates, what validate does, it goes through my entire list here and sees what I have added or what I'm missing. It validates if I filled in all the required fields. So if I hit submit, submit will do that also. But if I have all my required fields in here, then it would actually submit it and make it a live listing. So I could hit submit right now and watch what happens. Because I don't have all the required fields filled in there, that's where I get all these little error messages here. And you can see I even got the error messages on length and width and level up here too for the room sizes here, okay? If I click on this red line down here, that would actually open up and tell me what the error messages are, okay, where they're at. But see, validate would have done the same thing. Validate does the same thing. The only difference is submit would actually submit it live if I had everything submitted or filled out already correctly. So that could be a dangerous one if you're not ready for it to go live. Okay. And then of course cancel input would just stop this and it would just cancel this input and actually just erase it. Okay. So I'd want to save it as incomplete if I want to hold on to it till later. And by the way, there is an auto save feature in here. I know you're not seeing an auto, there's no message up here saying that it's saving it periodically. But if something would happen and I would crash and have to log out and then come back in, when I log back in, there would be a message for me to saying, hey, there was a listing that you that it auto saved for you. And that way you can fill it out. So there is an auto save feature in here. So yeah, like I said, now you can see I'd have to type in my room sizes and levels and all that good stuff here for all these property types. So just keep adding your fields in here and go from there. And next is the features tab. The features tab, there we go. Just allows me to type in all this other fields and information here. So just type in as much or as little information as you need in here. Okay, so you just fill all that stuff in there, correct it. And like I said, when you're ready to save this listing, if you're ready to submit it, go ahead and hit submit. But if you're not, validate, once again, just goes through and shows you where you made mistakes or where it wasn't filled in. But now I'm going to go ahead and save this as incomplete. If I hit save as incomplete, it gives me an MLS number. Okay, that MLS number will be a good MLS number when it goes live. Okay, so it's still incomplete. No one else can see this except for me. So, but that will be good when I submit it live. Now, even though it's still incomplete, I can still go in and add my photos or add my attachments here. Okay, supplements just means attachments. We're actually going to change that verbiage there and call it attachments. Okay, so now I can go in and add my photos. Just like Rapatoni, you can do up to 100 photos here. Now, not like Rapatoni, we're actually asking for larger photos. For maximum quality, upload photos at least 1024 by 768 pixels in size. Okay, I can add larger photos than this. In fact, we had some testing done. Someone had a 17 or 18 gigabyte picture, or megabyte, I'm sorry. Pretty large photo, very large, and it was like you know, thousands by 1,000 something there, and it still took it, no problem. Okay, so I'm really hoping you'll never see that error problem that your photo is too big. Okay, you can submit photos that are smaller than that, and it will take it there. Okay, it's just we encourage larger photos as much as possible. So I'm just going to hit the browse button here, and it's going to browse my computer. Of course, just like normal, I would have to go to that folder and find that folder where I have my photos at. So I've got, I'm just going to hold down the control button and select all the photos that I need to. Hopefully everyone knows how to do this just by holding down the control button. Okay. Pick as many as you like at one time and hit open. And now it's just going to go through and start adding these photos into my list here. Okay. You can see that all of my photos here have a red dotted line around it. The red dotted line, if you look up here, says note the photos below outlined in red are lower than a recommended size. Okay, we're recommending at least 1024. Will it still take these photos? Absolutely. Okay, it'll still take them. It's just letting you know that you could have had a larger photo out there and it would have taken up a better spot. And now here you can pull this over and rearrange your photos just how easily as you like. Okay, just grab them and move them and put them in the order that you like them in. Okay. Also, you can hit this little box up here above the image. Actually, you can click on the image or that box, and it just opens it up, and you can see it in a bigger view here. Up here at the top, you can rotate it. Okay. So if you've taken it sideways, turned your camera sideways, you can see it there. And down here, you can enter a description here. I would, if this is me, and especially if you had a nice listing here, I would go through your photos and add a description of each one, describing what the public or other agents are seeing in this view, because maybe you don't realize something just by looking at the picture. So you might want to go down below here and type in some more information. And there's a funny, Mike. That was my house, Mike, not your house. And there's a spell check down here. Okay, actually that's my house right here, Mike. That's my ex-wife's house up there. So she just lets me take care of her boat for her. No, you know I was never married, so I would never let her take that house anyways. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you just click on this and go in and enter a description there and things like that. Maybe say there's alligators in the moat around the property there that comes with the sale of the house or something there. Okay. But that's pretty much it. Now, if I come back in, I could delete these and reorder them, but I'm just going to hit save right now. Okay. Yes, Terry, I will show you how to retrieve an incomplete listing. Absolutely. Okay. So add supplements. So there I have already added my photos here, and it's still an incomplete listing, 700085. Here I can add supplements. So if I click on that, and once again, supplements are attachments, okay, and we're going to change that verbiage there. Here I can give it a description. I can say what type of attachment it is, and then here I can say choose file. Choose file just opens up my computer again, where I can browse and find those documents wherever they may be at and stuff there. Okay. and then I would simply hit upload. And once I hit upload, it puts the attachments right up here in this top box, and then I can go and pick another one and hit choose file and hit upload, and it puts it up here also. And then once I have 3 or 4 of them up here, I can rearrange them in what order I like. Okay, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory on how to add your attachments here. But all this was done with an incomplete listing. Okay, well, let's say I log out and I log back in. Now, how do I finish that listing? Or how do I go in and make changes to an existing listing? So I would just go to input here, and then under input, I would no longer need the add new because I don't want to add a new one. I would come down to the quick modify section here. In fact, I don't think anyone on this call besides me or someone at the MLS, I don't think any of us need this button or this option down here, because here is going to give you the ability to find your listings that you have. Okay, now this is for office admins and brokers. Office admins and brokers who have the authority to modify other people's listings. It's going to ask you 2 questions. First, to select your agent. So if I open this up, is this agent or is it that agent I want to work with here? Okay. And I see your question here, Dawn. I'll answer it here in a second here. So you first would pick your agent. Now, if I am an agent, I don't have the ability to modify anyone else's listings, just mine. Down here, I would this is the only box I would see. So when I open this up, I would come right in and I will notice that the only listings I can change are my own listings here, okay? Also on this list, you'll notice A is for active, P is for pending, I is for an incomplete listing here, okay? Incomplete listing. We should not see X or solds, expires, or withdrawns out here if it's off the market and if it's no longer able to be modified by the agent. It should not be in this list. Right now, I am seeing an expired listing, so I'm thinking for a moment we might see that there, and but we need to filter those out, because if you don't have the ability to go in and change something, an expired or sold listing, then you shouldn't see it in this list here, okay? You should only see the ones you still have the ability to make changes to. So once again, the office admins and brokers first pick your agent, and then they pick that agent's listings here. And for those office and brokers admins, you can hit this show agents with no listings here, and now it opens up and you can actually see I have a third person, but with no listings there. So I can open that up. So now that listing that I just put there, incomplete, that was actually I used my login ID, Keith MLS, and that's why it's not showing up here. But normally, if I would have, it would be in this list and would have an I next to it. Okay, I'll show you that, Michael, where the change status is. Okay, so if I need to finish that listing that I started, it would look like this. It would say I residential. It would have the address next to it, and then that MLS number. I think mine was 85, 7,000, and then 85. So I'd click on it, and because it's still an incomplete listing, here's where I go in, and I can finish adding stuff here. And kind of, Michael, this is where it's going to kind of look like for your question here, but I'll show you that here in a second. Here I can go back into residential and finish filling out these questions, okay? And like I said, this was a different property. It wasn't that same one that I was showing you for 1515 South Main. So, but now I can just go through and finish filling it out. Okay, let me go back here. I can go in and change the price, change it to active. Well, change it to active, we'll just open it up, and I'd have to fill out some fields here because it's still incomplete, remember. Oop, sorry. Let me go back here. Okay, so that's the incomplete one. So I'd pick that incomplete one, and well, it should open it up for me. Let me try it again here. Input. Let me switch it to that and switch it back. And now let me pick that listing. There we go. Okay, I can go back in and still, because it's incomplete, I can still manage the photos. I can manage the attachments here. I can add virtual tours to it. Okay, I think I can delete the incoming status if I'm an agent, because maybe maybe the deal fell through and I didn't get the contract on this house. So what I could do is just delete that incoming. I think I can. If not, it holds it as incomplete for, I want to say, like a week. It should be the same time period that Rapatoni saved them there. I want to say a week, but whatever that time frame is, it'll be out there. Okay. Now, if I already have a listing that's active in the system, and now I just want to go and change the price or change the status or add photos or schedule an open house, then I would go to inputs, and then once again, I would just make sure I pick the right agent, and I would open this up and then just pick on that listing here. Okay, I see the active one or pending. Maybe it's pending and I need to change it to sold. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this active listing. Now, since it's a live listing, I get a little different view. I get a picture of the house with a little bit of information up here. Okay, here I can go in and change the remarks or change the bedrooms or bathrooms or the room sizes or whatever. Here I can go in and change the price real quickly. Just click on it and then change that price to what it needs to be. Okay, now I can change the price also by going into residential and go in here and go to that general tab, I believe it was, and change the price here. Okay, but right out here we make it really easy for you. Just change it right here. Then you can change the active pending, change it to active pending, change it to pending. And once I change it to pending, I would put the contract date and pending date and stuff in here, and it would be in there. Okay. Now, I don't see change to sold in here because first it has to be, I believe it has to be an active pending status first, or it has to be a pending status. Then I would have change to sold on here. Okay. I know there's change to sold, but I think it has to be one of these first before it goes to sold. It can't go from active straight to sold, I believe. Okay. That's something I might need to discuss with the MLS. Here I can go in and schedule my open houses. Click on it, type in open house type, the dates and time and description, and submit it. Down here, I can manage the photos, go back in, and maybe I want to get rid of a couple of these photos. So I just select it and I delete it. Okay. Or maybe I want to rearrange the order of these photos here. Okay. Just go and rearrange it and then hit save. Okay. Virtual tours. I'd click on that and go in here and throw in the virtual tour website address, URL out there. Okay, so I can do that there. Let me start looking at some of these questions here. So Michael, that's how you change your status there. Hopefully that explains it. Dawn, you said, I noticed that there was a place on home page that showed incomplete and complete listings. Can you access that to complete? Let me show you that. Yeah, back here on the home page, there is a my listings, my office listings, my incomplete listings. If I click on that, it takes me into here and I would see my incomplete listings, but there is not a way that I can click on it and edit it. Okay, that is something that has been requested, and I think it should be. Okay, one of our old systems, older systems, right before this system, we had that ability here. So right now, no, there is no way to put a check mark and say edit on here, which I think would make perfect sense to do. So hopefully we're going to add an edit feature there for you. Okay, but see these two listings there? All I'd have to do is go back into input and then select that listing that was in there. I can't remember which one it was, but I would just select it and pull it up. So it's not like I have to search for it again, because right here are all my listings and it shows me what property type, what MLS number it is, what address it is. So it's not like I have to go digging for it and find the MLS number, because it's right here with me. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question there, Dawn. Can you still fax supplements for your listings? It doesn't look like it right now. I'm going to add that to my list and see fax attachments. Okay. I'm going to ask that question because if I go in here and I click on, manage attachments here or supplements, is there a way to fax it? Can we do that there? Good question. If so, if that is, I'll see if we can turn that on, and I would think that section would be right in here somewhere. Okay, I'm not sure how it would be displayed, but I believe it would be here. So I'll have to find that one out, Bob. Okay. Because yeah, otherwise, yeah, you'd have to scan it in and then upload it. I will say it's always better to scan it in and upload it because you'll have a better quality of the attachment than if you faxed it in. But I understand a lot of times it's so much easier, and sometimes some of the forms you don't really care about the quality because it's just writing and stuff. It's not like pictures and stuff. So I'll have to find that out. And Scott, you said when a listing is changed to pending and is only a contingent contract, where would that be noted? Let's see. So let's see. We change it to pending. Oh, this one is already pending. See, now I can change it to sold here. So let me go back and pick one that's active. Active, change to pending. So if I change it to pending, contingent contract, and is only a contingent contract. Contingent dates here. That might be back. If so, Scott, I would have to say it's probably back in this residential form here. And contingent type. See, I'm not really familiar with your fields as well here. That might be something, unless I'm overlooking it here somewhere. Yeah, that might be something we might need to ask the MLS about. Okay, I'm not sure where it should be at, where it should flow from out there. Okay. All right, Scott, sorry about that. But yeah, we might need to check with the MLS on that one there. And Lori, you said when making the listing pending, are we required to enter the sales agent at this point? Well, when I went to change it to pending, it does look like the selling agent is required field here. Okay, it does look like it's a required field. So if I change it to pending, I have to say who that who's the selling agent here. I do have to put that in. So it does look like it's a required field at this point. Okay. I'm assuming that's the way it was in Rapatoni. We're trying to match everything as it was there too. So I hope that answered your question there, Lori. Okay. I'm going to change it to, let me go back. What is it, what if it's a non-member? I'm sure DABR, how did you do non-members in Rapatoni? I'm sure they had a non-member, like a generic one they did. If I change it to active pending, see active pending, there is no agent I have to type in here, okay? So yeah, I guess I'm asking a question back to maybe not just you, Lori, but anyone on this call right now. If I change this listing to pending or to sold and it's a non-member, is there an ID for a non-member? Does anyone know that question? I'm just trying to search right here. No, I'm sure there is. I'm sure it's normal. I mean, that's what I see in many MLSs I do out there, and so far no one said anything yet. Please call the MLS, Lori, on that. Isn't it a John Doe? Yeah, it should be something like John Doe, so let me try that there. Let me just type in Doe here. Nope, no results there. But yes, it's very similar to a John Doe. I just don't know offhand who that or what that is. Actually, up in Rist, the MLS up in Troy, Rist, that also is CoreLogic product. They use Fusion, but that's what they have set up. They have set up where it's John Doe is the non-member. Okay, try test member. Okay. And test member might be right now just for us because we've been testing the system here. See, here it is. I think it's member test. Yeah, that might be it. That might be it, but I cannot be for sure. I think it's this one with DABR in there. Okay, member test. You would just fill that one in there. But still, please confirm that. Let's see if there's anything. Selling agent is required. Maybe maybe I can go in and modify this help message here to say that in there. Okay. It's the one above that okay. Let me try that one there, Lori. Test, what's it here? So you're saying the non-spec 109, okay. Okay, yeah. So thank you guys for that. Let's see, Dennis, you said, sorry I'm late. Have we discussed where to find agents hits and public hits? No, we haven't, but Dennis, I will cover that. Very good point. Where you can get your, how many agent hits, how many public hits are on your listings and stuff. Absolutely, and let me show you that there too. And Michael, you said, is there any talk of DABR getting automatic virtual tour like RIST? I haven't heard anything. Now, RIST uses Property Panorama, so please, Michael, pass that on to. I'll mention all to see if there is any talk with it, but I have not heard of anything. So I'll mention it to Jeff while I'm here, but not heard of it because I do like that. I think it's wonderful. And Jenny, you said I had trouble changing one to sold this morning and gave a red error message at the bottom. Please let the MLS know, Jenny, because we have, this is the first day, so we're prepared for it. Me and another coworker were here helping the DABR, and we're getting little stuff like that to them. So so if you can call like Amanda or Tom here at the board office and kind of walk through, and they'll try to do the same thing, replicate that error problem, then we can get these resolved here. Okay. And you can copy paste. Oh yeah, Ronald Sweeney. Yes, absolutely. Mike, in your case, since you're a risk member, you can. I think you're. Yeah, you're a risk member. You can copy and paste that URL out of the risk MLS and paste it into here. Okay. So just because it's being automatically done in risk, you can take it from there and put it into this one here. So that way you can take the benefits of it there and put it in other MLSs too. Okay, Michael. Very good point. Thanks, Ron. Great tip. Yeah, absolutely. I had error also when trying to change to sold. Okay. Yeah, we saw that. We did correct an issue when trying to change to sold. There was something with a duplicate checking. I think we fixed that part. Try it again, Amy, but definitely call the MLS, talk to Amanda or Tom here, or whoever answers the phone, and have them go through it and see exactly what that problem was. Okay. Because yeah, I'm sure others are seeing it too, but we are working on some of those issues there. Okay, Dennis, your hits and public counts, hit counts on your listings. Now that your listing is in the system, back here on the home page, remember we had my listings here. Okay, you can go through and pick that stuff. But under my matrix and my listings, okay, my matrix, my listings, if I click on it, it takes me to this screen. Now I can change this right here. I can change this drop-down arrow, and there's a hit counter right here, my hit counters, okay? If I go, and let me show you another way. If I'm back on my home page, and if I click on any one of these, it doesn't matter which one, if I click on one, it takes me to this same spot right here. So I can get to it either from my listings or from the home page here. All I need to do next is open this up and change it to my hit counters. Now, I don't have any listings here, so is there someone I can go behind the scenes of? Michael, is it okay if I don't need your password, Michael, but is it okay if I just go behind the scenes and I can show this off here. Thanks, Michael. AG Royce. Okay. And there's Michael here. Let me change this here. Oh, I have to go back out here. I have to go back in as me here. AG Royce. Okay. And Michael Royce log in as right here. Okay. Okay, so I'm in as Michael right now. Okay. If I go to My Matrix, My Listings, or if I click on one of these links under Michael's login here, I can change this up here from My Active Listings. I can change it to Hit Counters. This is going to be his listings, his listings here, and how many hits they have, how many client portals they're on, okay, how many client views. Now, if I hover on top of this, it actually tells me the number of portals your listings has reached by direct or auto email, and this column is recalculated nightly here, okay. So I can see that his listing on, we'll just use, I'll use this Pinehurst here. It's on 15 people's client portals all throughout the DABR, okay? Now, 12 of those is client views. Client views means the number of full displays by the consumers on their portal. So just because they're on 15 portals don't mean that the client has actually clicked on it to open up a full view. When a client clicks on that listing on Pinehurst and makes it a full view, we count that as a client view because it's not one of 10 or 20 houses in a little thumbnail view. We don't count that as a client view. Once they change it to a full view, so it's on 15 portals, but 12 of those clients have actually clicked on it and looking at it in full view. So 3 of them haven't done that. So that's a pretty good count. Now, how many clients have made that listing a favorite or a possibility? Okay, remember, Matrix is brand new out here. Okay, so not a lot of people have been using it because Rapatoni was still the main MLS. Well, now that this is getting out there and everyone is using Matrix because they have to, hopefully clients will start tagging them as a favorite or as a possibility. And this one up here on Neff Road for his listing, you can see that he's got client possibilities here, or one of his clients made it a possibility. How many auto emails is it on? Total number of auto email searches this listing matches. So there's 9 agents, 9, 6, and 14 agents here that have a search that produces these listings as on the auto prospecting. Here again, Matrix is, not everyone has opened up their auto emails in Matrix. So the more and more people do, now that this is the live system, now we'll start getting higher numbers because people were using Rapatonis, and this number does not come over from Rapatoni. This is just Matrix stuff. And previous 14-day views. Now, agent published and agent rejected. If you know what the concierge is in Matrix, Matrix is, has an auto email feature where it's it does not send it to the client. The agent looks at it first, and then if the agent approves it, that's what agent published means, that the agent approved it. Agent rejected means that it did not meet, it did not look like the client likes that. So they, yes, Michael, these are only active listings here. I would think pending and active pending would show up in this list too, Michael, but I'm not sure. So that's rejected here. Agent views right here are where it goes into the, this is how many agents have viewed it in the full screen inside of Matrix, okay? So, so within Matrix here, okay? So that's agent views there. So these are active only. Okay, so you've got some pending ones then, Michael, and it's not showing the pending. Is that what you're saying then, Michael? Okay. Okay, so I would think active and AP and pending hit counters should show up on hit counters. So let me see why just actives hit counters. because I would think you'd still want to get the hits of those listings too. So let me check on that, Michael, because yeah, I believe. Laura, you said I've been trying to change a listing from pending to sold and am filling in the required fields, and it is throwing an error saying these fields are required, but they are filled in. Is there a current problem with this today? Laura, can you please try the second page? I'm not sure what you mean. Please try the second page, Laura. Is there a field? Oh, I know what you're trying. There is a second page here, duh. Okay, yeah, I'm only looking at 1 of 7, but still, just active listings are here too. So he's got 17 active listings, but sounds like he's got some pending and active pending that are not showing on here. Yeah, try the next page to find pending. Yeah, so I'm still not seeing those there. So, but yeah, thank you guys for telling me that, because that would help. Laura, though, if you filled out a field on your property and you're still getting an error message, if you could tell me what fields you're seeing on there, and I could take a look at it. See if it's a field that has a comma in it or something like that. Okay, so that might be a problem there too. But please, Laura, call the MLS. Okay, and because I want to get that resolved right away. Off topic, Mike, you said, but when you do a search for a listing, will the active listings show up first, or will you have to go to the last page of the listings? When you do a search for a listing, will the active listings show up first, or will you? Not sure if I follow your question there, because if I went and did a search for properties, if I'm looking at active and pendings, they don't always show up first. It's depending on how the order is. And maybe I'll come back to that one here in a second. Let me answer some of these other ones here. See if can you show screen after click on the 12? Oh, so once I click on that, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is a little chart here, Jenny. Yeah, it just shows you the dates and times, and it looks like in the last 4 weeks, okay, if I do past 3 months, looks like back in November was when I had some of these hits here, okay. Portal views, so show portal views, show agent views. Look at that. Okay, thank you for showing this, because I didn't even realize this here. And you can print or email this here. I like that. Yes, I do too. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny, for saying that, because I forgot all about that there. Okay, gonna click on the 12. Yeah, so you can probably click on the 10 here. Okay, and over here you notice that some of these aren't all clickable, but if I click on agent views, it gives me the same thing out there. Okay. How can we reset the counters back to 0 if we wanted to? I don't think we can right now, Dennis, reset the counters there. Someone has mentioned that before. I think that would be neat to do, to be able to reset it, or to say run it from a certain time. But there again, if I click on this, yeah, it says 12, but there's really only one in the last week or something like that, you know, or past 3 months or 4 weeks there. Or all. So no, there is no resets, at least as of now. I do like that concept of that, so that way you can kind of track it from ever since you made that price change. Now, how many listings or how many hits do we have? Okay, so I do like that. What is link that says click here to run as full search? Okay, very good point right up here. As I see these listings, you'll notice that I'm not actually seeing everything. You know, I'm not able to print it. I'm not able to change this and look at different report views and things like that. Okay. If I click run as full search, it takes these same 17 listings. Now it runs it into a live search here, and I can change it to an agent full view or multi-line view and things like that, gallery view, client single line view, things like that, okay? And now I can come down here and print it and email it and a CMA and stuff like that, okay? So let me go back. Go back again to the hit counters here. Okay, so that's what run as full search is, Michael, yes. Laura, price, date of closing, and selling agent. Really? Check your price, Laura. Make sure there's no commas or periods in there. Okay. Your date of closing and selling agent. Make sure you typed it in slashes, I think, instead of dashes. Um, and okay. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to log out of this and go back in here. I appreciate you letting me use that there. Let's try this again, Laura. Laura, if I go in, what I want to, on price change here, make sure there's no commas in here, okay? It's got to be straight numbers here. You said date of closing and selling agents. Let me cancel this here. You said selling dates. Okay, well, I guess I have to pick one that's a pending one here. I think I have to pick, oh, I don't have any pending ones there. It's got to be somewhat in the format, but still, Laura, please call the MLS. And I wish I could help, but they can help. And they're right down the hall from me here. So anyways, how do we get access to change status company-wide? We had it before. So Lori, you're an office admin, right? So Lori, I would imagine if your login is at an office wide, no commas added. Oh, this is Laura. I'm sorry. No commas added. Use calendar and search agent. Okay, we'll call. Thank you, Laura. Please do call because it sounds like you've done everything correct. So I don't understand it there. So yeah, Lori. I'm assuming company-wide. Yeah, you're the office admin or broker, right? If so, let me go back in as that. Let me go back in. Yes, okay, yes. So Lori, you should be seeing, let me log in as one of these test brokers here. Okay. When I go to input, you should have this ability to first select your agent. Okay. So we need to find that out. Are you seeing, you first pick your agent, and once you pick that agent, you can change statuses. Then you should be able to pick the property that they have. And let's say it's this farm listing right here. I should be able to click that, and then I should be able to change the status or change the price there. So, okay. Please let us know, Lori, if that's not the case. And definitely call the MLS on that. So yes, you should have that. Okay. Okay. Michael, let me get off back to your question here. You said when doing a search for a listing, will the active listings show up first, or will you have to go to the last page of listings? So you're saying that if I go and do a search, now I'm assuming you just want actives. You just want, let's just say you're doing solds too, single family, and let's just say solds a few months back. Okay, 60 days back, and we'll say Fairborn. If I go to my results, I believe the default, we'll see right here my statuses, they're not really sorted anyway. So I got some actives, I got some solds here. So now I can always click on this. I can click on status and put all my actives together, or I can click it again, put all my solds, and then my actives will be on the last page. So unless I'm missing something, Mike, I'm not really sure exactly what the question is. So please let me know if I didn't answer that right.